hi, welcome to the Glowing Skin series. I'm Christine Ho, and today I have Adrienne Denese of the Denese Skincare line. She's one of the best doctors to specialize in anti-aging medicine. So, hello, thank you, and welcome for being here.
Hello, it's a pleasure being here. I'm very, very happy to be able to talk to you today. Whatever knowledge I can impart to you, it would be my absolute pleasure.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it's a really great pleasure to have you on here. So, yes, please tell us your own personal story.
I came from a communist country, a former communist country, Hungary. I grew up during communism, and it was a very sad story. Actually, I have to tell you, it was very difficult to be a child there. A lot of deprivation, a lot of empty store shelves. Many times we didn't have anything to eat, and we were well off compared to everyone else. Really, the only thing that you could do in communist Hungary was to study as a child. There was no entertainment, no movies, no music, no discos, nothing like it, nothing like you would imagine. It was just going to school, studying, achieving great grades, and that was it. So I left Hungary when I was about 21 years old, and I literally escaped. I felt I had no choice. I couldn't live under this very oppressive, very difficult communist regime. I left and I had exactly $40 in my pocket. I landed in New York and I had no appreciation of how far $40 will go because it was a lot of money in Hungary. So I landed and it turns out that the cab fare was more than that. Into the city, so it was really quite a challenge. So, make a long story short, it was truly a struggle. I had all sorts of odd jobs, and my driving desire was to go to medical school. I wanted to study medicine in the United States. That was my absolutely overwhelming desire, and whatever that took, I was willing to do. So, finally, after a couple of years, I was able to get into medical school. I got into Cornell Medical School, which is just about the best. It's an Ivy League medical school, and I also had a full scholarship, which was an imperative because I was practically an orphan, had absolutely no one to count on. So I got into Cornell, and I loved to study, so it was easy for me to get excellent grades and to really excel. So I finished medical school, and I was an older medical student. By the time I got done with all the immigration and the saving up for school, etc., I was older than my classmates, and it was really bothering me. I thought that maybe I should study anti-aging medicines, given that I am starting out late in life, so might as well. And I figured that there must be some other people interested in how not to get old. So I thought it could be a very good field. So I started out, I opened up a practice in Manhattan, on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. I found a tiny office in the best neighborhood. I don't know if you know Manhattan, Fifth Avenue and Madison Avenue. It was right between Fifth and Madison Avenue on 72nd Street, right next to Ralph Lauren. Tiny office. I had to renovate it. I had no money, so I basically did the work myself. I laid the tiles. I had the superintendent help me out because I really had no idea what I was doing, but I was very enthusiastic and I was willing to work around the clock. So, so I was able to, it says, reconnect your drive.
Oh.
Huh. Now it disappeared. The message disappeared.
Yeah.
Hello? Try to speak to me a little bit.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay, great, perfect.
Okay, good. So anyway, so what I did was so I renovated the office and started to have patients. It was very interesting because somehow word traveled. And within like a couple of weeks, New York Times came to my office and said that, well, I heard that Dr. Denese is engaged in anti-aging medicine. And how interesting is that? I did hormone replacement, anti-aging hormone replacement at that time. And that was fascinating. This was brand new and it had a huge potential. And in fact, it does have a huge potential. So, so the New York Times came, and within a couple of weeks, I was in the Sunday New York Times. There was this large 3-column article on anti-aging hormone replacement. So that kind of started me out the right way, as you can imagine. So it's interesting how much power the New York Times had. I was on Good Morning America the next day. They called Monday. On Tuesday morning, I was on Good Morning America. Then 2020 called. Many other television stations. I think I was probably on at least 30 different news segments just based on this New York Times article. So it was very powerful. Even German television came, Japanese television came. It was really very interesting. So I was so I was doing this anti-aging medicine practice, and the patient said that, well, Dr. Denese, that's nice that you are replacing my hormones, but what about my skin? So I decided to do something about that and design a truly scientific approach to skincare, based on the best science, the best scientific ingredients. And then, of course, later on, I brought in more natural ingredients as the trends have changed. So I did that, and then QVC, which is a very large television shopping channel in America, in fact, the largest television shopping channel in America, they heard about me, and they visited, and at first I said, oh, there's no way I can be on QVC, I'm too shy, I can't handle the camera. But they insisted. Finally, they came back 3-4 times. Finally, I felt guilty. So I said, all right, I'll go. And then I went, and the first show, I sold out. Second show, I sold out. So finally, I got an hour show. And I cannot even begin to tell you how nervous I was. I was so nervous. I thought that I would rather feign than go on television, that this is just not for me. And I was really nervous. But somehow I got through that first hour show as well, and it was very successful. It became hugely successful, really hugely successful. And I have been on QVC ever since, which is 16 years ago at this point. It's very rare that someone actually stays on QVC that long. Somehow the customer gets tired of her or him, and they turn away, and then the sales are not there, and then QVC says goodbye. That never happened to me. So that's a very big deal. I'm proud of this fact because it doesn't happen to hardly anyone. Anyway, so the only reason that the customer tolerates you being on QVC for that long is if the products work. If the products don't work, they don't come back, they don't buy again, and that's the end of you. So the key is to make the products work. So I had a very strong motivation to only give you products that actually deliver on the promise. That was my absolute driving force. To that end, you know, I'm a scientist. I have an MD and I have a PhD. I know a great deal about how the skin works, and I know a great deal about ingredients. So I was always able to put together ingredients that actually deliver on the promise. And for me, that was the absolutely most critical point. So my products actually deliver, and that's the most important feature about them. I use the highest level of ingredients. I use breakthrough scientific ingredients, combine them with all natural ingredients. All natural ingredients probably would not work as well without adding just a little bit of top scientific ingredients into the mix. But the combination of the two is remarkable. So anyway, I suspect that's my story. Yes.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
It was long.
Oh, no, it was good. It was very nice to share, and I'm sure everyone would love it.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yes.
Yeah, so, you know, you mentioned that there are very certain specific ingredients on top of the natural ingredients you use. So what are some of those?
Some of those. Well, there are a good number of them. I always like to use ingredients that are basically identical to your own skin's ingredients, to your own skin's compositions, because this way you talk the language of your own skin. And for me that makes intuitive sense, because as we grow older, nearly everything, nearly all the ingredients that are making our skin young are declining. So our most important mission should be to be able to give you back exactly the ingredients that the skin was making for itself when it was 20 years old. So that's my most important principle. And there are many, not many, but there are quite a few ingredients, such as sodium PCA, which is the hydrating molecule of the youth, squalene. This is the natural lipid that the skin makes for itself when you are very young. Then ceramides. These are the lipids that the skin produces for itself. And if you add it from an external source, that's really great, because the skin says, oh, this is the molecule I recognize. This is the molecule I live by. This is the molecule I make for myself. So there's a wonderful connection, and the skin fits right into this molecule, this incoming molecule fits right in with the rest of the skin, and enables the skin to operate at a much younger level. So basically, we are giving back what the skin used to make for itself in large quantities when we were young.
Wow, that sounds amazing.
Yes, it really is. It's a very, very interesting driving principle. And if you think about it, what better to give to the skin than what the skin would have anyway, but declined with time. So that's the principle. Omega-3 lipid is also one of these ingredients. And I have many, many products using this very important principle. And these are also natural ingredients, natural to your skin. When you look at the chemical name, it doesn't sound like something simple like sunflower oil or whatever. It sounds like a chemical name like ceramides, but don't forget that's what for your skin, this is natural. Your skin makes it for itself. Even squalene sounds like a strange name, but this is an inherent lipid that the skin makes anyway. So these are natural to your skin.
Okay, yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yes, I also, the ingredient and the amount, the percentages are key, because well, you know, these active ingredients are usually very expensive. That's really what the bulk of the cost is, and what I am known for is someone who never ever cuts corners when it comes to manufacturing, because for me it's like, you know, when you bake and you buy the most expensive ingredients you can find and put them at the highest percentages, the cake will show. The cake will be significantly better. Same with skincare. If you go out of your way to identify the best sources, and then you put the most amount that the formulation can bear, you are going to see a huge difference. I cannot even imagine trying to save on ingredients. I think that would be so foolish, because if you make the products really good, the customer will come back. If you make it so-so because you're trying to save money, you are a fool, because the customer is not coming back, so you have to advertise more. So for me, the most important thing is the products are excellent, so people talk about it, people love it, and they come back, and I don't have to advertise.
No, that's very, you know, that's a really good one.
It just makes sense. You know, there's this old saying that it's not the steak, it's the sizzle. I totally disagree with that. I think it is the steak. The steak has to be phenomenal, and then the steak will sell itself. It's not the sizzle. Anyway, that has been my experience. And I think it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It makes perfect sense, actually. So
Yeah.
I think that's a really great model that you have there.
Yes, exactly. So my products are known to be highly efficacious. They really deliver. Especially during the winter, you have to take care of your skin. I tell you why. The reason is that during the winter, cold weather robs the skin of moisture. And why is that important? Because okay, so basically you walk outside on a cold day and the skin will lose the hydration. The skin will lose the water. The water will evaporate from your skin within minutes. It's especially easy to notice it on your hands. If you go outside, you don't put on gloves, it's cold outside. Within 5-10 minutes, you look at your hands, it is full of wrinkles, wrinkles that were not there. Why is that? Because the cold air is very dry, the water level equilibrates. You have more than 60% of water in your skin. There is virtually 2% or nothing on the outside air, or I don't know, 5% in the outside air. Of course, the water will leave your skin and leave you dry. So the most important thing that you have to do during the winter time is to create a layer on your skin that doesn't allow the drying to take place, that doesn't allow the skin to lose water. That's your number one job. Now, how do we do that? What we do is we are giving you the lipids back into your skin, the lipids that you had so much of when you were 20 years old. When you were 20 years old, you went outside, you didn't wear gloves, and your skin, your hands were not wrinkled in 5 minutes, or around the eye area was not wrinkled at all. Why? Because you had so much of these lipids that prevented the escape of water from your skin. It's not there anymore. So now you have to take these very same lipids from the outside, put it into your skin so it forms a layer that does not allow the water to evaporate again. It's called the transepidermal water loss that is taking place through the epidermis. That's transepidermal water loss. And this is hugely important because when your skin is dehydrated this way, it will look wrinkled. You will say to yourself, well, I'm just getting older. Well, that's not the case. You're not getting older. You are getting older, but that's not why you are wrinkled all of a sudden. You are wrinkled because water has escaped your skin. Why? Because the lipids in your skin were not sufficient to protect your skin from the evaporation. So your number one most important job is to prevent the escape of water from your skin during the winter time.
Okay, yeah. So what are you most proud of from 2017?
What are the most important products? Oh, I have so many. I have so many. I have a few classics that they are so immensely popular that if I ever changed them or got away from them, I couldn't, because I would get so many angry letters that I would be afraid to go outside because people would attack me and yell at me. So I can't. So I have a couple of classics. And then, of course, I have a brand new product from this past year, which is a 100% natural lipid product. And it's really ideal for the winter time. I'm going to show it to you. It is called Essential Lipid Power Infusion. Essential Lipid Power Infusion. This is 100% naturally sourced, most of them are organically sourced lipids that are virtually identical to your own skin lipids. And it is truly the perfect antidote for losing water from your skin during the winter time, during the cold. During the summer, it's also important because then you have air conditioning, which dries out the air. And remember, as soon as the air humidity drops below your skin's humidity, the water begins to escape out of your skin. So that's what you want to avoid. So essential lipid infusion, essential lipid power infusion, sorry. And of course, our website contains it, drdenese.com. And of course, qvc.com also is a fantastic source to be able to get this product. Super important. That's one of the products. I have a classic, which I would love to show you. This is my Hydro Shield Serum. This is, I can't even begin to tell you how important this product is. This is a classic example of ingredients, of lipids that are virtually identical to your own skin's lipids. This product performs incredibly well. Within 15 minutes time, this is a measured clinical result. It was measured by a scientific instrument. This product is able to generate a 184% increase in hydration within 15 minutes time in your skin. That is extraordinary if you think about it, because this is almost 3 times the hydration that you had 15 minutes prior. 3 times the hydration. Now, why is that important? It is incredibly important because dehydrated skin collapses and it generates wrinkles, dry lines. When you are able to rehydrate your skin, you put the water back into the skin by giving your skin lipids that are the same lipids that your skin makes. When you put them back, all of a sudden the skin plumps up and the dry lines disappear. They just go away. They shrivel and they go away. And that's what you see with this remarkably important HydroShield serum that is really the centerpiece of our brand. It has been with us for many years. And I can't even, once you start to use it, you never ever stop. You just don't, because this tripling of hydration in your skin is so spectacular and so visual that you just can't live without it.
Oh, wow, those sound really awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And so they go very well together, these two. This is this 100% natural product and my HydroShield serum. They have very similar properties. They are both based on lipids that are virtually identical to your own skin's lipids, and they deliver very similar effects. Many people combine them. It's even better if you can combine them. But even if you use one or the other for the winter, you will be so happy and so grateful, because it's very important. I also have a very interesting product, really interesting mask. Mask these days is very popular. This is a magnetic resonance repair mask. Comes in a tube. It has a little magnet that goes with it, and you can tell the magnet is very much attracted to the tube. You will never lose the magnet. As long as you have any product inside the tube, the magnet will stay with it. Anyway, so this one is a very special product, and I'm going to demonstrate it on my hand as to how it works. Okay, so it delivers the perfect antidote against winter skin. So if you are currently suffering with dry skin and you just don't know what to do with yourself, you do this mask once and the problem is over, at least with it for an appreciable amount of time. So here it is. I have the mask on my hand, and then I'm taking my magnet, and all of a sudden it vanishes.
Oh, wow, yeah, that looks beautiful.
It's very interesting. It vanishes. I barely touch my hand. In fact, I can even float it above my skin. The mask still jumps. The little particles jump off my skin. Now, what remains on the skin is what is really, really important. This is the whole purpose of the mask. What the remnant. Okay, so let me be systematic here. So this mask has iron particles, little dust, basically iron dust, and that's the attraction between the magnet and the iron. Now there is a lot of science behind it. This is not just a gimmick, not just a visual. The galvanic energy that generates between the iron particles and the magnet is very, very important, truly important. It stimulates the skin in some very special ways. So this galvanic energy by itself is important. And then the residue, what is remaining on the skin, is highly significant because these are ingredients that you naturally have in your skin, except you're losing them as you grow older. So we are replacing the ingredients that you're naturally losing. also antioxidants, peptides. This is a very, very rich residue. Make sure that you don't wipe it off, don't do anything, just maybe spread it around a little bit, and that's it, and just let it sink into the skin and let it deliver some remarkable changes in the appearance of lines and wrinkles and toning and firmness and pore size, etc. Very interesting product. So this has been very, very popular in our line, and for a good reason. It's especially relevant during the winter time. I have another mask I would like to show you. That is my essential lipid infusion treatment mask. Essential lipid infusion treatment mask. This mask actually is rich in gold, genuine, real gold, also honey. Honey is the best humectant, the best honey is able to attract water, humidity the best. So the richness is absolutely remarkable to this mask. Now, this mask, it is so rich that if you are somewhat oily, this is not for you. If you are 25 years old, this is not for you. But if you look in the mirror and you see that you're struggling with lines around the eyes and the forehead and around the mouth, and there's a tightness, the pulling of the skin because it is so dry, this is truly the ideal mask. Do it maybe two or three times a day, especially during the winter, and the results, the benefits are extraordinary. Gold is highly relevant to your skin. I have resveratrol in here. I have amaranth oil, avocado oil, grapeseed oil, rose hip oil. I have chamomile. I have really multiple natural ingredients. The ingredients, actually, what happened was that, remember, I have the essential lipid serum. We brought much of the essential lipid ingredients in there into this mask to further make the mask more rich. So I have a total of 14 natural essential lipids in here, in addition to the gold and in addition to the honey, to make sure that your skin reaps the benefits of all these wonderful natural ingredients.
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome and amazing, actually.
Yes, it really is. It's a very exciting field. I truly love what I do. That's all I do, actually. I have no life or anything like this.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I just do my chemistry because that's what I was made to do. And it's interesting. When I was 9 years old, my aunt developed a skincare line in communist Hungary. Later on, we got into trouble. We were not supposed to do anything entrepreneurial during communism, so we had to do everything behind drawn curtains in secret. I remember women were knocking on our window at night once it was dark, saying that, well, my aunt Eve, do you still have that cream? I love that cream so much. And at 9 years old, I was just kind of observing and figuring, and I just didn't understand why they were so anxious to get creams on their face. But of course, now I know. And it became obvious. I didn't know what was the fuss all about at the age of 9. All I knew was that this was critically important for the ladies who were coming to our house. So yeah, that image just kind of stayed with me, and I am so grateful that we don't live under a communist regime when none of these would have been ever possible. So
Yeah, no, that is definitely a great thing. And
yes, absolutely.
and it's also kind of sweet that it was ingrained into you at such a young age.
Yes, absolutely. The only thing I knew was that skincare was very important at that young age, and that's all you needed to know. And then I kind of unfolded this whole puzzle, and ultimately I came back to the very spot that I started, which was skincare.
Oh, well, that's sweet, actually, yeah. And
Yeah.
so what are you most excited about for 2018?
2018, we have some very, very interesting products coming up. We are making two products that are instantaneous. Now, if you are 25 years old, it's not so relevant to you. But if you are 35 or 45 and you have a couple of lines that you want to get rid of, at least for the day, this product can be very, very important. We are making a product, if you have puffiness under the eyes, bagginess under the eyes, it will make it completely disappear, just like it was never there. It's not permanent. It is good for that day, but you know what? You put it on in the morning, you put on makeup on top, and you're happy the whole day. You look in the mirror and it looks nice. It makes you feel good, makes you feel more confident, and that's what this is all about. And then you wash it off in the evening, and tomorrow you start all over again. I think there's nothing wrong with that. It does have some significant long-term benefits as well, but the short-term benefits are really profound. You look in the mirror and it's like a different person. Whatever bagginess there was, gone. So that's one of the products we are making. We are also making a mask for the entire face. It's a peel-off mask. You would use it very similarly. You would use it in the morning. And you let it sit for about 15-20 minutes. You peel it off in one sheet, and the skin is lifted. Your face is lifted. The lines, nasolabial folds, flattened out. Lines around the eyes flattened out. Pores are remarkably shrunken and vanishing in their appearance. Temporary, mind you, same thing, about 8 hours, but at least you go to work and you feel like you feel good about yourself, or you go out on a date, or go to a job interview, or church, whatever you do when you have to do good. It certainly is good. It's very helpful. You can put makeup on it. You can use your skin. You can treat your skin any way you want afterwards. It's very profound, and women deserve that, and they.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes we just need to take some shortcuts.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm surprised that you're saying that a lot of these things that they're removing, like the wrinkles or the puffiness or
Mhm.
spots and everything, they just remove them instantly.
Yes, exactly. Well, there are a couple of new interesting products, ingredients rather, that are enabling to do that. We were not able to do this even a few years ago. These are brand new ingredients that are suddenly making it possible for us. So this is all very, very, very new.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds amazing. So, are they synthetic products?
Well, they are not natural. They are not natural. It's impossible. There's no natural product that can do that. These are film formers. Basically, they form a film on top of the skin. There's no harm in it. It doesn't go into the skin. It doesn't do anything except forms a film that you wash off. So yes, that's it. Look, we are glad that there are ingredients like this. There are only a few of them that exist. So yeah, so the question of natural, not natural doesn't come into the picture because, we are happy that there's one or two. Actually, there are only three of them. So that's the way it is. But when it comes to skincare, when it comes to feeding the skin, then it's very important to try to make sure to put as many naturally occurring ingredients as possible. Um, Sometimes it's not possible to be 100% natural because the product just wouldn't stay together, would fall apart. A cream wouldn't stay together, for instance. But with my lipid serum, for instance, we were able to make it 100% natural. And this the lipid mask, for instance, that is also almost overwhelmingly natural. There are some ingredients that one really shouldn't use in skincare, and of course we stay away from those ingredients completely. We would never even contemplate putting them in there, like parabens, for instance, or we don't even contemplate ever using them because that's obviously a no-no.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So no, that's all really nice to hear. Definitely, Sounds amazing. And
Yeah.
hopefully like, yeah, because of the natural products, you mentioned it's possible that it's gonna, look better over time to
Yes, definitely, definitely.
improve
Yes,
this.
yes, exactly. And most of the products are long term. Most of our products are long term. In fact, these two temporary products will be our first venture into this field. Most of everything else that we make is always based on long term goals of reducing the look of lines and wrinkles and firming the skin and shrinking the look of pores and exfoliating the skin to perfection so that the pores are more tight in their appearance and the color of the skin becomes more even and more radiant and more bright.
Of
Um,
course, yeah,
these
that
are
sounds
the most
amazing.
important things.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have a couple of products that are inherently able to tighten the skin, actually tighten the skin. And the tightening effect is measured by a clinical instrument. Um, and this is long-term tightening. This is not the short-term that we spoke about just now. We have several products that are able to deliver this interesting tightening effect to the skin. We have a facial firming pad, for instance, that is able to do that. We have a volcanic ash mask that is able to tighten the skin on the long-term basis. And this tightening claim is very, very hard to get. Um, you have to use this instrument. It's always an independent testing lab that tests. You can never do your own testing for obvious reasons. It has to be an independent testing lab. And then this independent testing lab uses instruments, um, yes, medical instruments, scientific instruments to measure, for instance, to measure the tightness of the skin. There's a little, it's called the machine is called the cutometer. There's a little suctioning cup that suctions the skin and measures the resistance. And then 3 weeks later, after using the product, you come back again and we are measuring the resistance of your skin again. And if the skin, in fact, became tighter and more firm, there's a difference in the measurement. And when the difference is significant, you are allowed to say that this product actually tightens your skin. And that's a very big deal. Very, very few products are able to earn this claim that they can tighten. Very few. Most cosmetics companies try to go for this claim because they do submit their products, but it doesn't come out with shining colors, to say the least. So it's rare that there is a product in the market that actually tightens. I have several of these products. I have a neck cream, for instance, that's able to tighten the neck, and that's huge because just think about it. Basically, tightness is everything in skincare, because if your skin is more tight, that means that your wrinkles are more flat. They are stretching out. They are flat. They are less. Your skin is more firm. Your pores are more. The pores are less visible because the skin is tighter. The pores are pulled together more. So this is how it translates for the pores. And overall, even the shape of your skin is different. If your skin is tighter, the shape is very, very different. So tightening is extremely important. And of course, with the neck, night and day, the shape of the neck, the circular lines and wrinkles. If you use this particular tightening cream, it's called MedMD33 tightening cream. That actually has a real physical measurable result in terms of tightening.
Okay, yeah. So do you have anything for like tiny bumps on the skin?
Yes, we do. This very important, very important. One of the most important products I have ever created, actually. We have two products for that. I have a microdermabrasion cream that I would highly recommend. If you have tiny bumps under the skin, every morning when you take a shower, or every night, you take this tube with you in the shower and just exfoliate, exfoliate. This is a naturally based product. Actually, it has two components. One is pumice stone. It's finely ground up pumice stone that delivers the mechanical abrasion. And then I also put a little bit of glycolic acid in there. Why? because it facilitates the derivation process. What happens is that the glycolic acid peel begins the process, and it loosens the bond between dead old skin cells that we want to exfoliate. And then actually my assistant just brought in, here you are. This is my famous microdermabrasion cream. People love this so much. It is so important. Would you bring the pads as well? Microdermabrasion cream. So this will be your best friend. If you have bumps on your skin, this will be by far your best friend. Within a few weeks' time, the bumps will be gone. The bumps are basically clogged pores. So if you keep opening them every night, or every morning whenever you take a shower, this is it. Now, I have one more important product that is really the ultimate answer for these little bumps under the skin, and that's my advanced firming facial pads. Advanced firming facial pads. These are glycolic acid peel pads. These are actually little peel pads that maybe, let's open this one, okay? Glycolic acid peel pads, and I'll show you, it's very high percentage of glycolic acid. You have heard about lunchtime peels, right? You go to a doctor's office during lunch and you get a glycolic acid peel. Now this is very, very similar to that. This is not as strong because you do this every night. But ultimately, you know, you can take many, many little steps and you get to a certain point instead of taking one larger step. So these are the many little steps. Every single night you use these pads. I mean, I cannot live without them. And if you come really, really close to the camera, I have basically no pores, and I am quite old at this point. So here is my glycolic acid facial firming pads. This is immensely popular, girls, immensely popular. Why? Glycolic acid peel pad, glycolic acid peel that you give yourself every single night. Wash your face at nighttime, take out the pad and wipe your face. Just wipe back and forth, especially where you see little bumps under your skin or enlarged pores or clogged pores, forehead, around the nose area. Use it, just go back and forth, back and forth. Use it between 30 seconds and 1 minute. 30 seconds and 1 minute. Don't cheat. 30 seconds is the bare minimum. What these pads will deliver 5 really, really important functions. 1, they shrink the look of pores. They genuinely do. They deep clean your pores. They actually tighten the skin. This was one of those products that was tested with the photometer, and we found out that the skin was significantly, measurably, statistically significantly tighter. 3 weeks later, it's not a lot of time, 3 weeks later. So it tightens the skin. As a result, lines will be more flat in their appearance. As a result, the skin will feel more tight, more firm, and also you are taking, remember, you are taking dead old skin cells off your face. This is the primary importance of these pads, that you are taking off dead old skin cells that make your skin look dull and aged. Maybe not when you're 25, but when you're 35, it certainly does. When you're 25, the chief concern is pores. Because you are making so much sebaceous acid. There are bumps under the skin because you are making so much sebaceous acid, and the clogs are pored. Therefore, the pores are clogged. Therefore, the sebaceous acid gets trapped under the skin, and then you have wounds. So if you exfoliate every single day, your pores will shrink. The content, the dirty content of the pores will come out every day, and the bumps ultimately will go away. So this one is a critically important product, Advanced Facial Firming Pads. I love it, can't live without it. I've been using it ever since I made it for the first time, 16 years. And I think one of the reasons my skin is as good as it is, which is pretty good, is these pads. It's like glycolic acid peel every single night. Anyway, so this is very important, very, very important product. It's really the foundation of everything. because whatever you do next will go into your skin much better. So you're not wasting the ingredients. Everything will find its way much better into your skin. That's one. Two is because of the pores. It shrinks the look of pores, deep cleans your pores, tightens the skin, genuinely tightens the skin, and flattens out the look of lines and wrinkles. So this
Okay.
is really facial.
Yeah.
One of the most important products I've ever created.
No,
So
that they sound awesome and amazing. Actually, like I was kind of wondering though, because like usually, people don't exfoliate every day. So I was wondering
oh,
like
bad
gentle.
bad mistake. Really bad mistake. I mean, that's they think that you shouldn't exfoliate because then you will run out of skin cells. Well, that is just a complete fallacy. The skin actually likes to be exfoliated. The skin generates, I think, 1.2 billion skin cells that try to come off every day. I know it's a huge number, and then it's approximate number, but that's what I read recently. So it needs to be exfoliated. When you are young, you exfoliate a little better just spontaneously. As you are getting older, these dead old skin cells just stuck on your skin and they go nowhere. And it just gives you an aged, sallow look, a complete lack of radiance. So it's really super important to exfoliate every single day. If you want to see tight skin, if you want to see skin without little bumps under the skin, if you want to see pore size less, if you don't want to see blackheads, clogged pores with dirt in them, makeup in them, exfoliate every single day. It's
Okay.
interesting. You wash your face, and then what I do, I wash my face and I use the pads. And even though I think that my face was clean because I just washed it, when I am done with the pad is dirty, which means that you would have gone to bed with all that makeup, oil, dirt on your skin. And eventually they just go into the pores and they just sit there and the pores become bigger and bigger and bigger and more dirty. That's not what you want for your skin. So that's why it's important to exfoliate. And the skin regenerates. The skin regenerates anyway, whether you exfoliate or not. It's really your job to exfoliate, to make the skin's life a little easier.
Yeah. So is that a very gentle exfoliator so that you can
It,
use it
it is
every day?
gentle. It is gentle. I mean, you feel it. You feel it. It's an acid. It's a pure, not pure acid. It's a glycolic acid peel. Glycolic acid is derived from, goodness now. Uh, it is derived from a natural source, and I will tell you in 1 second as to what it is. But anyways, it's a natural source. I know it sounds like a chemical, but it isn't. It comes from it's a botanical origin, and yeah, exactly. So the skin needs it, wants it. Very important.
Okay. Yeah. So like if they can, if you could say to, yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah. So if you could say to, your customer base to buy only one product, what would you recommend?
Probably this glycolic acid peel. I would say yes. If it is for a younger audience, this would be it. This would be it. This would be my advanced firming facial pads. I also would encourage you to buy the microdermabrasion cream because between the two of them, your pores will be taken care of. That's definitely that's a definite. Your pores will be very happy, very clean, very tight, and no more bumps under the skin. If you are a little bit older and if you are beginning to develop some lines and wrinkles, then the most important products would be the two serums, the HydroShield serum and the essential lipid serum. This is for the fans of the 100% natural, and this is really more of a classic product. Not that it has chemicals in them, but it is not 100% natural. It's based on derived ingredients. They all come from plant sources, but there are a couple of steps in between, so you cannot hold them by the plant source anymore legally. So anyway, so if yes, if you are a little bit older and especially if you are struggling with winter skin, if you feel that you have more dry lines during the winter than normal, then definitely these two. And of course, if you want to further indulge, the magnetic mask is fascinating. And if you have dry skin, this is going to do a lot of good for you. And it's really a very interesting experience and very stimulating experience for your skin.
Do you have a certain specific routine for each type of group of people?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. Let's say you are young and somewhat acne prone, you don't really struggle with lines and wrinkles at all yet. But you have bumps under the skin and your pores look to be large and there is content, there is some dirt trapped in the pores. Definitely the microdermabrasion cream and the firmifacial pads would be something that would clean up your skin to perfection within a fairly short time. That would be if you would be dedicated to these products. I would probably use the HydroShield serum just around the eyes, just to be sure that the eye area, which is always dry, always, always, always dry, the eye area is well taken care of. It would be strictly for the eyes, not for the rest of the face. And then, first and foremost, the most important thing you can do is an SPF 30 on your face every single day. Whether it rains, it shines, you don't care. You just put on your SPF 30 because that's the only way to never develop lines, not never, but to delay the developments of lines and wrinkles by decades. I started to use an SPF when I was maybe 23 years old, and I have never spent a day ever without an SPF 30 on my face, ever. I developed the product early on for myself. You know, even when I didn't have my product, I was still using an SPF 30, and I kept looking for one I actually liked because most of them absolutely hated. Not my products, but other people's. They were ugly, white, and greasy, and this and that, hated them. But ultimately, I was able to develop my products about maybe 16 years ago or so. And this is my very, very well-known product. Love, love, love. Many Customer Choice Award winner. It has won many Customer Choice Awards. Yeah, and so did my others. This is a beautiful cream. The reason I love it so much, it's basically makeup and the day cream together. And I'm going to show you. It has a beautiful color to it. It has a unique self-adjusting color. It basically matches most of everyone's skin. And show us also the Merendi. Yes, okay, so here it is, and look at that. SPF 30, and yet it's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
It adapts to your own skin tone. It's like putting beautiful makeup on your skin. You can actually, certainly you could use it. Caucasian skin, Asian skin, even light African American skin can use it, and it just blends with your skin. It's our own special technology. It has a unique self-adjusting color because we put melanin in here. Melanin is the inherent color pigment of your skin. You have melanin in your skin. If you have a lot of melanin, you have darker skin. If you have less melanin, you have more light Caucasian skin. So it's all about the melanin. So I decided to color this cream with melanin because I figured that, well, the melanin will adapt in terms of skin color to a wide range of skins, and that's exactly what happened. That's the secret behind it. The melanin that colors it, and it adapts to your own skin color. So that's a very important product. That's what you should use every single day, especially if you are young. As I've said, I have used an SPF ever since I was 23, every day, never missed a day, summer, winter, snow, rain, doesn't matter. And I'm 50 plus, well into my 50s, and nobody would be able to tell because I really have no lines virtually. And that's because sun is what causes lines. And don't kid yourself, sun is probably 98% of the reason that we age, that we have sunspots, age spots, freckles, lines, wrinkles, loss of elasticity, sagging of the skin, lines, wrinkles, all has to do with the sun. That's the single most important factor. That's 98% most likely. And then there is the remaining 2% that's environmental pollution, smoking, whatever else. But that's 2%. 98% is the sun. So if you are able to use an SPF every single day, you are literally setting your skin up to be looking as good pretty much for decades and decades and decades. It will look as good as it looks now. The lines will not have a chance to come out. The mistake most people make is that when they are in their 20s, it just doesn't seem plausible that I will ever have wrinkles. Well, you will. Just wait 10 years and the wrinkles will be there. And the more sun, the more wrinkles. And by 35, you will be struggling with serious wrinkles if you have not used SPF 30. The whole problem can be avoided by starting at a young age when you still don't have any lines and don't allow lines to develop. That's the only way to not allow the lines to develop is if you block them from the sun, period. There's no other way. So, so honestly, if you have lines and wrinkles now, blame it on your early days in the sun because this is exactly what happened. I also made a very customer-friendly product, which is also, it's an SPF 35, UVA, UVB broad spectrum. It's a foundation. It's a foundation concealer all in one. I have 3 shades in this one. I have light, medium, and tan. And it's very interesting. It's basically, it's an SPF 35, as I've said, but it's 4 products in one. It's your SPF 35 broad spectrum protection. It is a concealer because whatever you have, if you have capillaries, dark discolorations, if you have acne sites that are still red, acne sites that are still dark, this will cover absolutely everything. Everything. It's a beautiful foundation. And it is a flexible foundation. And why is that important? This has flex technology. Let me show you first how it works. Okay, so you have a little tube. There you are. Then I'm going to give you a finger palette. Right? Finger palette. Okay, so you put it on your finger and then put a little bit of this SPF 35 foundation. It comes with a beautiful brush. There we go. Blend it. Then what you do is you mix it on the finger palette. I'm giving you this finger palette because I want every single one of the 60,000 little brush heads here to have the foundation. This way you can distribute it perfectly on your skin. And it stipple all over the place, and it covers absolutely everything beautifully. And you are protecting yourself with an SPF 35 for the whole entire day. Broad spectrum, always has to be broad spectrum. It's a very interesting product. It's really for a younger person who is very much into using foundation. I want you to use foundation, yes, but I want you to use a foundation which has an SPF broad spectrum. Many of them have SPF only UVB. That's not good enough because the lines and wrinkles come from the UVA. So if it is not broad spectrum, don't even bother because you're not protecting yourself from the lines and wrinkles. It has to be UVA, UVB, broad spectrum. So that, yes. So for a young person, that's absolutely key. If you can just get used to it every single day of the year, every day, even if it rains, snows, doesn't matter. You will not have lines for at least 10, 15 years later than somebody, your contemporary, who did not use some protection every day. So that's a lot of time and a lot of beautiful days when you feel confident and you feel like your lines are not there. That's important.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that is actually very good to know.
Very good
So,
to know. And it really is. It is the key. And I think that no, I think I know for certain that that was a lifesaver for me because I would have aged like everybody else. I would look my age, which is late 50s. That's a long time, on Earth. So, so, so it's, and it just, it was the function of not having any sun. I've never got a suntan, ever, 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 never. Not even my body. I mean, my body once in a great while, but basically never. Face, absolutely never. Never burned, never. I never had a tan on my face, ever. And then I just put on foundation, whatever shade I want, and that's the way it is. And I don't have the struggle, I don't have the problems that a woman of my age would. So that's important to me.
yeah, no, that's definitely very good to know. Yeah, so what's your own skincare routine?
Well, yeah, I use my SPF 30 every single day. I use this one, this SPF 30. That's my day cream. First, I always put on my Hydro Shield, which is my number one favorite product. Can't live without this one. This is because in the morning, what you have to do is you have to you have to make sure that your lipids, that there are enough lipids in your skin. That is the most important because if you don't, you lose hydration and you will wrinkle during the course of the day. So I inundate my skin with lipids. I use the combination of my essential lipids, the 100% natural serum and the Hydro Shield. And then I'm good with the lipids of the skin. Therefore, I know that that day I will not be wrinkling. Then I'm putting on my SPF 30, which is my day cream. Then on top of it, I put on my MedMD concealer foundation, the one I just showed you with the little brushes, with the 60,000 little brush bristles. SPF 35, so I have an SPF 30 on broad spectrum and an SPF 35 on broad spectrum, and then a little blush and basically just mascara, and that's it, and don't have to do much else. Then during at night time, I always use my pads. That's I cannot possibly live without my pads. I in fact use at least two of them because why not? I just find it incredibly helpful. I often use my microdermabrasion cream also in the shower because I like to exfoliate. It makes my skin look really tight and clean, and it shrinks the pads themselves to tighten the skin, as you remember. So I use that. Then I use the combination of my Hydro Shield serum and my essential lipid serum, which is the 100% natural serum. There we go. These two. And then I have a couple of really excellent night creams. I have a triple, for instance, I have a triple strength peptide cream. We call it triple strength because I actually tripled the amount of peptides in that cream compared to even the highest, most expensive commercial brands that you can find. And why is that important? Because peptides are very delicate and they act in accordance to how much there is in the cream. If it is a lot, they do a great deal. If it is a little bit, they don't do anything. So you can often buy expensive luxury brands and they have just a tad of peptides in there, just to be able to say that, well, it's in there. But that was never good enough for me because remember, my entire business model is based on the fact that you love the products, you buy them once, you love the products, and then you continue to buy them again and again and again and again. I have the most loyal following. I have numbers to show, QVC shows you the loyalty factor, and I am by far, I'm the leading in this loyalty arena because when somebody buys my products, they just stay with it. They just stay with it, period. They love it. It works for them so well. So when I make a cream, for instance, my peptide cream, I always put a great deal. I mean, literally triple. In this case, I tripled the amount of peptide in here as compared to normal industry standards because I knew that this is the only way to fly. If I want my customers to love it, if I want to see a change in the skin in terms of lines, wrinkles, even deeper etch in lines and wrinkles, this is the way to go. So that's why it is such a popular product. So I use that. I have another product called MedMD 33. It has 33 clinically tested, clinically proven ingredients in there that are that are um, that are able to fight lines and wrinkles highly effectively. So uh, yeah. So this is basically my routine. I also do masks when I have time, and I always make time for skincare.
Oh, yeah, of course. So do you have anything for scarring?
Scarring, yes. Well, yes, absolutely. Scarring is there's only one thing for scarring, and that's a silicone sheet. And this is something that you can buy in the drugstore, CVS. The silicone sheet is very interesting. Um, you put it, you are supposed to wear it 24 hours a day. Basically, you take it off for shower. And these silicone sheets are reusable. You can reuse them at least 6 weeks. Um, in after one or two uses, they lose the adhesiveness, and you would think that, well, it doesn't stick to my skin anymore, I can throw it away. No. What you do is, interestingly enough, take a little soap and water, wash it just gently with your hand, and dry it, and the adhesiveness returns. It's very interesting, very counterintuitive. The adhesiveness returns because basically what happened was that the adhesive picked up the lipid, the oil from your skin, and it became dull and clogged up. When you wash off the oil, the adhesiveness returns. So you can, yeah, so basically you have a scar, um, um, especially on the body. Definitely this is what you need to do. Basically you have to wear this silicone sheet. Um, basically looks like a Band-Aid. Um, as long as you can, several months, and they will help fade the scar. That's basically the only thing that medicine has to offer for scar treatment. There are some creams, silicone-based creams, but I think it's much better to use the adhesive because then you have it permeates much better. The delivery is much better with the sheet itself because the cream will wear off in a few minutes and then you are nowhere.
Okay.
If you have a scar on your face, well, that's a different story. These silicone sheets are usually skin colored. So if it is like, let's say you have a red acne scar, if you can just cut out a little bit, a round little spot from the silicone and put it on, that will help to fade the redness very quickly.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it blends with the skin, so you don't really see it that much.
Okay, yeah. So do you even have anything for the body as well as the face?
Um, well, I have an eye patch, as a matter of fact, that is made out of this medical grade silicone because the silicone actually helps a great deal with the collagen of the skin. So if you wear it on a regular basis overnight, for instance, around the eyes, it actually inherently cuts back on lines and wrinkles dramatically. So it's very good for lines and wrinkles as well. I don't have strips of silicone for the body because I'm just not specialized in it. But there are many commercial brands. Um, you just go to CVS and they will point you in the right direction. They have it for abdominal scars, for it's like a cesarean section. They have the appropriate shape for that. They have smaller sizes for smaller cuts. These are all secondary to surgery injury. So yes, that's how it is. It's not expensive. It's like a $20 item, and you use it for weeks and weeks and weeks.
Okay, yeah, that's great. So also tell us about your free gift.
Oh yes, yes. Well, It's interesting. I mean, given the audience that it's a younger audience, maybe we should make the free gift. Well, okay, we can okay, we can basically gift whatever you think is best. I picked a very expensive product. It's a $248 item. That is our number one bestseller. That's my Hydro Shield serum. That which comes it's a different container. It has actually triple the size compared to this one. That's one of our most expensive products ever because of the size mostly, but it's an expensive product anyway. So that we were planning to give away as a free gift. And whoever gets it, I'm just warning you, you will never be able to live without it. It is that good.
Oh,
So,
yeah, no, that's great.
but this will last you for about 6 months. The size that I'm giving you is going to last you a good half year, so it's a good deal.
Oh, that's
But I was thinking, given that it's a younger audience, I would like to give away one of my facial firming pads as well. Firming facial pads, which will really set you up in the right direction in terms of skincare.
okay. Yeah, thanks. Honestly, though, like this audience isn't just the younger people, it's going to be older people as well. So
Mhm.
there'll be a lot of older women who will also love,
Yeah,
watching this review and understanding all these different products you have to offer.
absolutely, absolutely. I hope so.
Yes, no, I'm very sure that you'll be getting a lot of new customers from this too.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I'm delighted. Well, I love what I do. I live for it. So that's for me. That's the most important. That you see results. Um, you see a real change in the look of lines and wrinkles.
Yes, no, that's really amazing what you do and how you do it and the fact that it works. That's
It
all.
works. It works. It works. It
Yes.
works. We know that we have numbers to prove. As I've said, I have the highest retention rate at QVC among all the skincare brands, and we have basically everybody at QVC among all the skincare brands. My ability to retain the customer loyalty is by far and away the largest in my product line. And the fact that I've been there for 16 years, that speaks volumes because nobody has been there for that long.
Yeah. Actually, I completely forgot to ask earlier.
Yeah.
So does it matter about like your product? Does it matter if it's, like sensitive skin, oily skin, dry skin?
No, not at all. No, sensitive skin is really not an issue. With oily skin, my most important recommendation is to unclog the pores every day, which is the microdermabrasion and the firming facial pads. Um, and that's the number one job that you have for oily skin, and also to protect the skin from the sun for everybody. Also for oily skin, just put a little bit of Hydro Shield around the eye area because even if you are oily, the eye area is never oily. So you'll really appreciate that. For normal skin, I would recommend definitely the microdermabrasion cream maybe twice a week, the pads every single day, or advanced firming facial pads every single day, then the Hydro Shield for most of the face. If you are oily, let's say in the T-zone, then don't put it on the forehead or on the nose itself, but put it everywhere else. In general, don't put skincare on the nose. It does the nose doesn't need it. The nose is almost always oily. That's just the nature of it. And also, the forehead is very often oily, so be careful with the forehead as well. If you are dry everywhere, then of course put my serums and creams all over the face.
Okay, so yeah, that's about all the time we have left here. So thank you so much for coming.
It is my pleasure. I'm very, very happy that I had a chance to talk to you. Thank
Oh
you.
yes, I'm very happy for that too.